All right. How's everyone doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Just had a outstanding practice out there. It was phenomenal. We had a red day. Obviously, happy for the guys to be back. Back in the building. Um, Outstanding work down in Indy. It's good to be back, but we had some outstanding work down there practicing against them. Those reps in practice are invaluable. I think we got a lot of great evaluations on guys, even though it was in practice, and then obviously that carry over to the game. Guys did a nice job in the coverage phase on the game, kickoff return phase. Nice job, obviously, there. Trent punted the ball really well. Cairo kicked the ball really well. So guys are in a good place right now. Just happy they came back with the right mindset, and we got a really good practice in today. So with that, I'll open up the questions.
How do you feel about your punt returner situation with one preseason game to go?
Feel good about it. Obviously, you'd like to give more guys more reps, but you really limit it to the amount of punts you get in the game. So that's why the joint practices are invaluable. So we believe in all the guys that we have there. So it'd be good to see these guys in this last game. See who makes a big play.
Richard, I know it was just the walkthrough speed of it earlier, but is DJ an option at punt return, or was he just standing in there for Pettis today?
Yeah, no, he's been doing them in the off season. He's done it before. He did it in college. DJ's good at that. So anybody who has a helmet on that can do it is an option always.
What are the chances you get permission to use DJ as your punt returner?
He wouldn't be back there if we didn't have permission.
With Bayless, I think last year he was third or fourth in average kickoff return.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't see him do kick return in the first preseason game.
Yep.
Is that a matter of you know what you have in him on kickoff return, or is it an open competition to see what else you have?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. We saw him for a lot of games. He's one of the best kickoff returners in the league. I think everybody knows that. His stats say that as well. So we wanted to get a look at some other guys and see what they have, and give other guys opportunities. Preseason is all about opportunities for guys to show what they have and see what they can do in order to make the football team. And I think in the kick return phase, I think Bayless has shown how potent he can be. But we also want to put the ball in the end zone. We were really good on kickoff return last year, but we still need a touchdown. So that's a challenge to him going forward, and to the unit, really, not just to him, to the unit.
So did you float the idea of DJ as a punt returner, and then that went over well with him and Matt and everybody?
I mean, whatever receiver, like I tell you guys in the offseason, whichever receiver or DB that we have that's up on game day, they all, if they have the ability to return punts, they're all going to work at it. He's been doing that for a while. I don't know if obviously you guys weren't around in the offseason and like all of the phase twos and all of those different days, but he's been doing that. So he's done that before. It's not it's a huge deal. Like all of a sudden, whoa, DJ's the guy at punt return. It's not like that.
Right.
Like it's just everybody's working at this time.
It just seems like a great option, but it's pretty rare that a number one wide receiver would be available for that role.
Yeah, he wouldn't be the starter there, but he's still gonna take practice reps. Like he's gonna take reps just like all the other guys take reps to get better, to work on their craft. So
Gotcha.
yeah, he wouldn't be our number one option, no, if that's what you're asking.
I know Ngakwe and Demarcus Walker are defensive guys, but do you know, did they not practice today because of rest situation or just injury situations?
Yeah, I don't know. You can ask Coach that one tomorrow when he's up here. They're really not. We did punt today and we did kickoff today, and they're not on either one of those phases. So I really didn't look into it, to be honest. But maybe you can ask Coach. Maybe you can ask Coach that one tomorrow.
Kendall got a lot of run during the preseason game in Indy. What phase stands out most about him? Like, where has he really made his mark on special teams?
Courtney, which Kendall you talking about? Vildor or Williamson?
Williamson.
Yeah, he is fast. He's big. He's versatile because he can play inside in the interior and he can play outside in the perimeter. Usually, when you get some positions, they can only play one or the other. But he's big enough to play inside, and he's fast enough to play outside, like where the corners and the receivers are, like the gunners and the vice guys. So that's what we like about him. Obviously, he had to tackle on punt in the game, and he's one of the first guys down on kickoff all the time. So he's doing a really nice job. But again, he has to continue to grow. Like it's all a learning phase for all those guys, especially with those rookies. So what I can tell you about Kendall Williamson is he is a gym rat, and he is always asking for cut ups, tape. What are these Pro Bowl players? How did they do it? How did they make it? How did they survive in this league? He's like at my door like this, like all the time. So I'm glad he made a tackle.
Bayless in the first preseason game, Matt was telling us that, he was lined up pretty deep because you were expecting some bigger punts from the Titans punter.
Mhm.
And then came in a little shorter, which, maybe made it harder for him to get under the ball. Is there anything that he could be doing better to either get under that ball quicker or just let it go so he's avoiding, the muffed punt there?
Yeah, you talking about the first one or the second one? You talking about the second one?
Kind of both, really.
Yeah, well, the first one had a 3.88 hang time, so that's hard to get to on any punt with this 3.88. Usually, punts go in hang the distance ratio, so a 45-yard punt is like a 4.5 hang. A 49-yard punt is like a 4.9 hang. That was a 3.88 hang, and that was way farther than 38 yards. So that's hard to get to. So, and then on the second one, the first one, he got it because it hopped. It was a one bounce. The second one comes down to fundamentals, just trying to get underneath it. And if you can't get underneath it, then at all costs, then you get away from it. That's all. And he knows that, and I think he's discussed that with you guys. So you just got to keep working, keep growing. You can never. He has a competitive streak in him, and he wants to make a play, and he just got to know when to say when. That's all.
But does that shake your confidence a little bit when you see him out there and he makes the kind of mistake that, in a regular season game, that could be a biggie?
Yeah, it doesn't shake my confidence. Like when I was, I can tell you how I feel about confidence. It doesn't shake my confidence because from when I was a boy, like 5 years old, my dad always told me, you got to be confident in who you are as a man. You got to know who you are as a man, and you got to believe in yourself and things you stand on and your principles. And I stand on fundamentals, technique, values that we talk about in our room. And I think if you wake up in the morning and you grab your phone, i.e. a player or whatever, and you find out what everybody's saying about you or what you're talking about, I don't live in that world. I stand up, I look in the mirror, I look at myself as a man. I tell my players to look at themselves as a man, believe in themselves, and then go back out and do what you do. Because we, as players and coaches, we look at it like, not like, I wonder, can I do this? I know if I can do this. Like, I do this. This is what I do. So I study, I prepare. I know at the end of the day what to expect. And if it comes down to what it comes down to, I know how to react in those situations. That's what you hope for through your preparation. And I hope the players feel the same way. So that's how I feel about confidence. It's one of our cornerstones we talk about in our room. So you have to be confident to play this game. If you're not, to coach it or play it, if you're not confident and you don't know that you know, you're always learning. But if you don't know that you know, then the people on the other side of the line, they're going to sniff that out and they're going to eat you alive if they don't see that confidence. So we don't lack confidence in that area. But that's a great question, though.
Micah Baskerville's made plays on defense and on special teams. What do you like most about him as a guy who's like typical guy trying to make the team as a special teamer, but maybe has potential to do more?
Yeah, I think Micah, that's a good question. Micah, obviously he played at LSU. He blocked some punts at LSU. He played linebacker. He did a nice job there. And as he's gotten here, he's done a phenomenal job just trying to grasp everything we're throwing at him. It's a lot of things being thrown at him. But he did make a tackle, inside the 20 to start the game off, which was a huge play for us to set our defense up. We talk about the start of the game and we talk about coming out after halftime, being two tone-setting plays. And in that game, I'm proud of Micah because he made the play to start the game to get our group going. And then I'm also proud of our kickoff return team because they came out after halftime and had a big, huge return to try to get it going on offense. So that's our job, and that's what we're going to try to continue to do to change field position to help the football team.
Back to Halas, just real quick, sorry. Last year, obviously, you're gonna give them plenty of opportunities, you know, and through the ups and downs. This year, as you're kind of working through year 2, is that leash any shorter at all with him if the mistakes continue to compound?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are at practice, right? So you see all the progress.
Right.
You see how well he's doing it. You got the eye that people don't get to see. So you know how well he's doing, you know? So I don't know if a leash is any shorter on anyone. Like, the leash is the same for everyone. It's a new year. I don't look at last year. I look at this year and I look at every rep as a new rep. You know, I don't see it that way. But I mean, I hope that answers your question. I don't see it. I don't look in the past on that.
Is there something though based on trust and knowing that you can put somebody back there in a situation? Like I gotta trust that you're gonna make this play. Can you use anything from the past to gauge, I guess, kind of what you're seeing now to know that yes, he's progressing in camp and what we've seen, but also that you can trust him in those situations?
Yeah, we do that. Trust goes for all positions. So they have to show each other that they can trust each other as teammates. Coaches have to earn trust. Players have to earn trust. I don't just see that applying to one person. I see that applying to the team across the board. So I think they've all done things that we can trust them on, and then they do things that we got to coach them on. Like, it's coaching. We got to coach them, and then they got to respond. They got to make the corrections. They got to take the correction and make it. So, yeah, I don't see it as I don't see it as where we trust everybody in the locker room. So